Again, hello, and welcome to LiveLOOK's webinar, Co-Browsing for Retail, examining the ROI of assisted selling. We hope you are all able to launch both the audio and the visual components of our webinar, okay? And I just wanted to point out that you should see a slider on the left side of your screen that will allow you to zoom in and zoom out in order to customize your view of the presentation based on the resolution and size of your screen. We will be taking questions throughout the course of the webinar via email, Twitter, or our on-site web chat. We'll save all the questions for the end of the webinar, and if we do end up running out of time, we will respond individually to anybody whose question wasn't able to be addressed during the course of the webinar. So go ahead and submit questions as we go. We'll keep the little note towards the bottom of the screen on where to submit those questions. So our speaker today is Dusty Stanford, LiveLOOK Sales Director who specializes in the retail sector. Dusty's been with LiveLOOK for about a year now. He has a wealth of experience working with retailers to implement innovative sales and service technologies like screen sharing and co-browsing. He's worked with brands like Sears, Allstate, Land's End, and ConAgra Foods, just to name a few. So he's, I know, very excited to present this content to you all today. So I will go ahead and turn it over to Dusty now.
Thank you, Michelle, and welcome everyone to our presentation today. Today we're going to talk about co-browsing and what co-browsing can do within the call center arena for retail, how it can help deliver a return on investment and deliver that in-store feeling that many customers get from going to a brick and mortar, but actually bringing it to the customers that come to you via the web. I think the first place to start is I'd like to give you a little feel of what co-browsing is. Folks, when you look at it, many times in the past, before now, when people went to the web, the only support they had was they could potentially talk to somebody or they could potentially chat with somebody. But there was no visual connection. There was no real way to share that experience with the person on the other end of the phone. And that's where LiveLOOK comes in. What co-browse is, it's the ability for your customer to share their screen in real time with your agent. By doing this, they're creating that emotional attachment whereby the agent is now able to see what they're looking at, and with that, be able to understand what that customer is truly trying to accomplish while they're on your website. So again, when you look at co-browse, co-browse is the ability for that customer to share their screen with a living person in real time. So again, they have the verbal, the written, and the visual assistance that they get when they're in a brick and mortar store. The only difference is they're getting it from the web. Now, as we look at it, the Internet Retailer has talked about how in 2010, Internet sales were up about 18%, and in 2011, it's gone even higher. There was more increase. More and more people are starting to come to the web, and it's those companies that are delivering the best service, the best support, that are seeing the highest increases. And again, as we look at Frost & Sullivan, their statement is, as they're starting to look at this space, is that one of the strongest ways to improve a customer's experience is to join force with that customer using collaboration tools such as co-browse. So again, joining forces, holding hands, walking them through a process, helping them find the solution that best meets their needs or closest meets their needs, and giving them that trusted advisor advice to help them know that the decision they're making is the right decision going forward. So who is LiveLOOK? Well, as you're probably aware, there are screen sharing applications that are available today, and we're not screen sharing, we're a co-browse, which is a little bit different. And we're different within the space because of our patented technology. When you look at the LiveLOOK solution, we try to make it as easy as possible for your customer to share screen with you and as securely as possible. How do we do this? We do it by making our tool available to your customers with a no download requirement. What that means is it's as simple as clicking on a little launch logo that allows them to come into a co-browse scenario. They don't have to download any information. We've all used other tools out there where you go in and you have to wait a few minutes to download something, and it gets a little cumbersome and a little hard to get to where you need to be. But with ours, there is no requirement for download. It's just clicking on a simple launch site within your website. Another thing that makes it easy is the fact that we're universally compatible. When you look at it, if you have a launch site on your website, you want anyone who clicks on it to be able to use it, no matter what operating system they're using or what browser they're using. And when you look at us here at LiveLOOK, we are universally compatible with all the different operating systems and all the different browsers that are available today. So also, one of the key things that is important within the retail arena is your customers need to know that when they're sharing their screen, that everything is safe and secure. One of our patents is the fact that we offer the ability to help you maintain your PCI compliance. We can limit to your browser. We can limit to specific pages within your website, and we can also limit by line item. So with our tool, you have the ability to follow your customer all the way through checkout because we have the ability to block their credit card information and the security code information from your agent's view. All those things, along with the fact that we're 256-bit encrypted, really helps make it a safe, secure, easy tool to use for your customers as they're shopping on your website. When you look at it, we have many customers using our application today, and this by no means is all of our customers, just a handful of them. As you look there, TurboTax has been using our tool for a couple of years now, and over this last season, they used millions of minutes of co-browse in their sales of their application, as well as helping people complete their tax forms. They found that by using our application, they reduced frustration of customers and increased their satisfaction because there was somebody there who could visually see where they were at and help them through a process. There was somebody there as they were buying a version of software to actually talk to them about what they needed and which would best meet their needs. Another one, Premera Blue Cross. Premera Blue Cross every year helps a lot of companies as their people have to annually renew their insurance policies. Prior to using a co-browse, the LiveLOOK co-browse solution, as people went online to fill out their applications, many of them became confused, would call in, they would talk to an agent and try to explain where they were on the website. This took a tremendous amount of time to figure out where a person was at, what they were trying to accomplish, and then tried to direct them on where to go. By adding co-browse, the agent was able to join that customer, see where they were at, and dramatically reduce call duration, while again reducing frustration and increasing customer satisfaction. All these things play into the retail arena, and as you look at it, shopping on your website, if I can't find what I'm looking for, many times I abandon or go someplace else. By adding the visual appeal, you can now see where the customer's at and help them through that process and increase the conversion rate of the customers that visit your site. How does it work? This is one of our customers, Nike. And as you see here on the Nike search page, they have the double arrows in the right-hand corner. What happens with Nike is a customer calls in, they have a concern, and they use an agent-initiated launch where the agent guides that customer to those double arrows, and once that customer clicks on the double arrows, it moves them through the process. But that's not the only way you can click a launch site. We have other ways and can configure it to whatever best meets your needs. Maybe you want to have verbiage on your page that says live help, shop with an expert, help from a pro. Whatever it may be, we can set up the launch point to look the way you want it to. When it comes to chat, we also work with the chat applications. Many companies today are using chat, and this is just another way where you can offer that visual assistance to help the customer. You also see on the right-hand side here the tab. A lot of the customers we're working with today are adding a tab to every page so that the customer knows there's always someone there at a touch or a click away from helping them. So a lot of flexibility on how launch points are set up within your website. They're just a simple JavaScript, so it makes it very easy to implement and get the solution up and operational for you. Well, once you've clicked that launch point as a customer, you're taken to a landing page. Again, this is Nike's landing page, and as you can see, they have a bit of a disclaimer there. They've listed their hours of operation and a simple start button. Once that customer clicks on that start button, they're given a 5-digit code. Now, you also see an 800 number here. Now, if it was customer initiated, where the customer clicked on the launch point before speaking to an agent, at this point they would dial in and they would get the 5-digit code that they would share with the agent. Now, if you're counting, that's only 2 clicks for a customer to get to a co-browse. It's a very, very simple process, and once that agent enters that 5-digit code, in about a second and a half, you're now seeing what that customer is seeing in real time. You're seeing their movements. You're seeing what they're looking at. You're able to assist them. So whether I'm looking for appliances and I'm looking at washers and dryers and I'm not quite sure if it's the Kenmore or the Maytag or the Whirlpool that best suits my needs, the agent can see what I'm looking at and find out that, you know what, I do want that steam component to my washer. They can start to make suggestions to get me to the best value or the best product determined through the dialogue that they've had with me. This keeps the customer on your website and drives loyalty to your website. So, what is the value to online retailers when you look at co-browse? Well, first of all, we'd want to talk about conversion rate. For many retailers, you have customers that come to your site, and when you look at the national average by the internet retailer, the average conversion rate is somewhere around 5%. So think to yourself, what is our conversion rate? And if you're above that, congratulations. If you're not quite there yet, how do you increase that number? Well, one way is by being able to catch that customer in that decision-making moment and being able to understand and visually see what they're looking at. Being able to join them and hold their hand and walk them through the process, much as the people on the floor in a retail environment do. I recently went to a store and was buying a pair of slacks for an outing I had to attend. And the person who took care of me had the ability to run and grab a couple of shirts and a tie and try to match it up with the trousers that I was acquiring. In the past, you couldn't do that via the web. But now with the ability to co-browse, looking at those trousers, I can either help direct the customer to where they need to click to show them the shirts and the ties, or I can just be there and ask them to go to a certain point and show them things that would be a nice addition to the decision they're making. And we're also delivering that white glove service that people are looking for today that they feel they get in a retail environment. But now, again, with more people and the demographics changing, more people are going to the web. we need to find a way to deliver that same in-store service to the customers who are shopping from the comfort of their own home. We also look at conversion rate. This year, we've heard a lot of information about the rising gas prices. And with those rising gas prices, a lot of the retailers I've been speaking with are sharing concern about how many people are going to be available or how many people are going to want to spend the gas money to drive into the stores to make their purchase. Now, I know the gas prices have settled down, but we don't know what they're going to do towards the holiday season. By adding the co-browse to your website, you're going to ensure that you're going to be able to deliver the service to the web and help do some of the cross-selling and upselling that you would do in the store, but now you're going to be able to do it via the web. So you're helping the customer. You're giving them that emotional connection, that visual connection that gives them the confidence to make a purchase decision. Again, increasing the conversion rate. Now, with that, you're also going to be able to now cross-sell and upsell. Years ago, one of my largest accounts was Land's End. And Land's End, back in the day when there really wasn't the web, they just had their call center and their catalogs. And a person would call in and look to order something off the catalog. Their philosophy has always been, had been, to sell the customer what they were looking for and make a friend. They decided to pull together a new program called GGT, Great Go Together. And what this was is they would look at what the person was acquiring and say, you know what, you're in this catalog, can you turn to page 36? And the person would have to flip their catalog over, and this would match very nicely with what you're purchasing. Well, that program was a huge success for the folks over at Land's End. The difference is now you have the web, and it's so much easier with the co-browse to be there with that customer, holding their hand, and actually showing them different things on the website. So whether it's a jewelry store and you're trying to help the guy who knows very little about diamond rings, and you're trying to show him color, cut, and quality so he can buy an engagement ring, or whether it's a sporting goods store where somebody's buying a new hunting outfit and, well, you need pack boots and you need this, you have the ability to make that suggestive sell, and you have the ability to talk about the quality of the products and hopefully upsell them. We're seeing tremendous success with people using co-browse and training their agents to do cross-sell, upsell, and getting a great return on investment through cross-sell, upsell. Now, also, again, the experience that you're getting from the web has been starting to increase with co-browse. Again, you're bringing that in-store experience to the web, and people are appreciating this experience because of the quality they're experiencing, and it's starting to drive brand awareness because the person who's coming to your website is now getting comfortable with the fact that they're not out there alone like they had been in the past with the web. They know that if they need to talk to somebody and they need to share visually with somebody, they can do this. And when the person has that experience, they become very loyal because they know that service is there when they need it, and they come back time and time again. The wonderful thing is, because of the increased customer satisfaction ratings, they're also telling their friends. So it's driving additional business to your website because of the quality of service that you're delivering the customer. Now, our tool is not only limited to helping the end customer. We have several of our customers today that are using our tool for back-end collaboration. One of my folks recently has developed a new customer portal. The challenge was when they brought this to the customers or their vendors, they found that they were getting a tremendous amount of questions and calls into their agents. The agents would take a lot of time trying to figure out where that person was and what they were doing. When they added our co-browse, they found that, you know what, we're now being able to train our vendors how to use our portal. So we were getting a double benefit out of it. We were reducing call duration, but we were also training them so going forward they were more comfortable, and they also knew if they ever got into problems, they could reach out and get somebody to join them, see where they were at, and direct them to where they need to be. So this is a wonderful way not only for your vendors, but on your customers on how to train them and how to use your website more efficiently and get to where they need to be. As a matter of fact, that customer I just spoke about was the Container Store. And as you can see from what they've written, they feel that this has been a huge success for them, and they couldn't live without it. So let's talk about the return on investment real quick. As you look at the return on investment, we're not even going to talk about what it does for call duration and customer satisfaction ratings. We're going to look simply at conversion rate and cross-sell, upsell. The numbers that you see here today are from a customer that I've worked with, have been working with. This particular customer has a 2.9% conversion rate, which is actually pretty good. With that, they had a traffic on their website of 336 million hits on an annual basis. Their average order size was $160. So with looking at their conversion rate and looking at their traffic and deal size, our tool with the ability to increase them, and this is a very conservative number, by only 0.5% means an additional $268 million to this company. And again, that 0.5% is a very, very conservative number. Now that's not all. We also look at with the conversion rate increase and the average order size, if we're able to do an increase of just $1, an average increase of just $1, that means an additional $11,424,000 worth of revenue. Those numbers are numbers that make your CEO and your CFO sit up and take interest, because it's about the bottom line and it's about making the customer happy. This tool has the ability to do both. Increase that customer satisfaction while helping them make more decisions in your favor. And as we look at it, again, I go back to a lawn and garden center. If they're using our application and somebody's buying a weed whip, all they have to do is suggest that, you know what, Mr. Customer, how about some lime for that weed whip? Or how about some oil for the gas and oil mixture? We look at a furniture store. How about a pillow? How about a throw? It's very easy to do cross-sell, upsell. Again, I feel that $1 is conservative, but it adds up very, very quickly. And when you look at return on investment, most companies, they start to measure by a year. If we can have a return within a year, it's a project that we're going to look at. If it's something that can have a return on investment of under 6 months or at 6 months, well, that's almost a no-brainer. When you look at LiveLOOK's co-browse application, we're potentially looking at return on investment under 2 months. So it's very, very quick for you to have your return on investment, and we're not looking at the total picture here. There's more that goes into it that we can figure into the return, such as average handle time, customer sat ratings, and returning customer. So we've talked about us. I'd like to take a minute and talk about, if you do look at co-browse applications, what are some of the key things that you want to look at and some of the key things you want to have as you look at these solutions. First of all, you want to have a tool that gives you ease of use for your customer. Again, if there's a download, it may not be the right solution, because with the demographics you have today, there are more young shoppers going to the web. but I know for a fact my aunts, my uncles, my grandparents are out there on the web now too. And if they have to download anything, it becomes a challenge for them. You want to find a tool that does not require a download. You also want to make sure whatever you choose is a tool that's universally compatible. Nothing would be worse than put a tool out there and have a customer who's using an Apple application not be able to co-browse or something else. You want it to be universally compatible so everyone who clicks on it can be able to use their co-browse, share their screen, get to that visual trusted advisor to help them through the process. And you want it to be instant connect real time. So as soon as they click that button, within a couple of seconds, they're able to share their screen with that agent, and the connection happens seamlessly. So ease of use is very, very important as you look at making a co-browse decision. One of the other key things, especially within the retail arena, is you want to be able to control what the agent views. Privacy is something that's very important to the customers that are coming to this application. And as you look at it, the customer has the availability to accept or to make the decision to co-browse. So we don't hear anything from anyone saying, I'm uncomfortable doing that. They're the ones making the conscious decision, or they're the ones being asked up front, would you care to share your screen? And they're making a conscious decision to do that. You also want to make sure that you are protecting your PCI compliance. With our application, we have the ability, as you can see within the center block there, to block the line item information. So instead of having to take that customer through a process and leave them as they go into checkout, now your agents have the ability to follow them all the way through checkout and help them with any questions they may have. Do I have the right promo code? Am I getting the right discount based on my my customer level? Am I getting everything that I need? Did this go through? Well, again, now because your agent can follow them through the checkout process, you're there to help them with that. So it's important that security be there. Now, we're also 256-bit encrypted, so the customer has the confidence to know that you're doing the right things, sharing the screen, protecting their information, and helping them through a process. One of the last things I want to talk about is implementation. Having worked in call center arenas for the last 25 years, I've worked with hardware applications, and I've also worked with software as a service applications. Hardware applications require capital expenditure. They require hardware on site. They require your implementation team's time, so internal cost. And then you have the daily care and feeding. You have the patches, the upgrades. We've had it for 2 years. Now it's time for a forklift upgrade. With us being a SaaS application, none of that is required. As a SaaS application, which you want to look for, all of that hardware is on within a highly secured facility. And with it being in a highly secured facility, there's people there all day long, all night long, 24 hours a day, ensuring that that system is up and operational. Any patches or upgrades should be part of the pricing that you pay. So there's no added cost. Again, making it very easy for your implementation team because they have very little involvement. They're just saying, yep, we'd like a launch point here. And for provisioning agents, it should be a very simple and easy process. We know within retail, within the holiday seasons, there's a tremendous amount of scaling. It needs to be something where you can add agents very quickly and also be able to subtract agents once that holiday season has gone. So you want flexibility, and you also want ease of training, especially with the holiday seasons. If a tool is cumbersome, when you bring somebody in and you nest them, You don't want that nesting period to take a tremendous amount of time because you need to get them out on the floor. Our tool makes it very easy because it's intuitive and easy to use, so you want to look for something that's intuitive, easy to use, and flexible for that customer. I guess at the end of it, the important things to remember when you come away from today is how do we treat our online customers with the same degree of support that we treat the customers that go to the brick and mortar stores. That's what this product can do, is give you that leg up over the competition, give you that visual, trusted advisor, emotional connection status that you can get from a store, but now you're getting it via the web. So, I guess I'd like to throw it out there. What questions do you folks have for me today?
Thank you very much, Dusty. I did get a couple questions in through email, so I will go through those now and give you a chance to address those. The first question, this is a great question. If your customer call center isn't a 24-hour call center, how do you handle the co-browsing functionality?
Very, very good question. As you saw when we showed the Nike slide, you're able to put your hours of operation right on your landing page. So a customer would know when they go to that landing page, oh, it's outside of hours of operation. Also, you have the ability to work with your IT department to bring the launch points up and down based on your hours of operation. So there's a couple of different options, and I'd sure love to sit down with you and go over those options, but there is a lot available to you to ensure that when the time is right, those launch points are available, and when the time's not right, that you're at least being able to share with your customer that it's not the right time, or pulling it away so they know that it's not available at this time.
Thanks, Dusty. And the next question is regarding rich media on the website. Does co-browsing work with Flash-based websites?
Yes, most definitely it does. Michelle, maybe you could help with that one just a little bit.
Sure, yeah. One thing that I can speak to about our own co-browse tool at LiveLOOK is that it does display all rich media content without any processing or any issues associated with some of the other tools that are out there on the market. You can display video, .NET, Flash, really anything that's built into your website is going to display just fine.
Fantastic. Great question.
All right. And how does co-browse work with chat applications?
Very similar to what you saw here today, folks. If you're an agent and you're handling a chat with a customer, you can invite them to a co-browse where they would just click on a link, and once they click on that launch site, it brings up the co-browse, it brings up the code, and you just continue to chat in a lower right-hand corner or wherever you have it pulled to, and you're seeing that customer's screen and chatting away and helping them through the process much as you do with a verbal call.
All right. And next question was, how customizable are the pop-up screens? So is that would be the customer engagement windows that we saw as Nike as the example.
Okay. When you look at those sites, those are configurable, and you have the ability to add your logo. You have the ability to change the text that you saw within the block. And so it is configurable, and will give you the look and the feel that you're looking for. But again, it is configurable and allows you to do what you need to have that look and feel. Okay.
And the last question was, can you talk a little bit more about what kind of security options there are on your co-browse tool?
Most definitely. When you look at security on our application, again, we start out with the fact that we're 256-bit encrypted. Above and beyond that, we have the ability to limit to your browser. One of the accounts that I've worked with, they deal a lot with military personnel, and they wanted it to limit it so that their agents wouldn't see what was up within the peripheral. So again, when a co-browse starts, the only thing their agent is seeing is their website. Now, above and beyond that, we have the ability to limit to specific pages on the website. So that, again, maybe there's some pages you don't want your agents to go. We have the ability to do that. We also have the ability to limit by line item. Much like you saw, if you're entering into a credit card area or the checkout, we can block out the information of the credit card. We can block out the information of the security code from the credit card, the date. So there's a lot of things we can do with working with you, talking to you, and understanding what needs to be secured and securing it so that you're maintaining your PCI compliance.
Great. Thank you, Dusty. I think that's all the questions that have come in through email and Twitter. I think we got everything there. And if anybody thinks of any questions once we drop offline, just again, feel free to email my email address or contact us on Twitter or however you're comfortable, and Dusty will address those after the fact. We will be packaging up this webinar and sending that off to you along with some resources we hope you'll find helpful. So we'll get you out that package via email by the end of this week. And I wanted to just thank everybody for being on the webinar today. I hope you found it useful and educational.
Everyone, I also want to thank you for your time today. Hopefully you found the information useful, and I look forward to speaking to you in the near future. Thank you.